Okay, so back to our business. We are actually talking because I like to share with you what to expect for your exam on Tuesday. Yeah, so as what I have shared with you guys, the exam is going to be held. It's going to start at 10 and it's going to finish at 3. So it gives you 10, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. So it's a 5-hour paper, yeah. So I'm gonna exceed about 30 minutes in case anyone has technical problem or whatever. So it's at Caleb. If you open Caleb, it's right at the beginning of the list, yeah. Scroll down, yeah. So on that day, I would actually suggest for you to be very comfortable, well seated, and all. So if you have to go to the library or whatever, do so. Right, so I don't want you to use your handphone, yeah. So try as best as possible to use a proper laptop. Okay, so why? Because you'll be typing your answers. Now let me just share with you how your answer booklet would look like. Yeah, so basically when you read your questions, yeah, it's like any question booklet, but the thing is that for your exam later, you would have to write all your answers. You would have to type them, not write. Yeah. So this is how your answers are going to be written in. So this is the answer booklet. So as it is stated, it's 5 hours. So understand that when you answer the questions, you would have to save this one later and then submit it to me. So understand that you have to do 2 submissions. Yeah. One to the Caleb and the other one to the email. Yeah, so make sure both are submitted. Right? Paham ya? Both must be submitted. Okay. So okay. So the thing is that bila you buka the answer booklet, you will see all this. And please try hard to adhere to the, to this whole trust thing that we're giving you, yeah. So and then when you type, you just type this one, type all these details, and then of course, nanti you start typing lah. Section A, whatever, section B, whatever. Yeah, please do not change the Arial set. Senang je. Okay, so that's one. Yeah, other than that, of course, I have to remind everyone to make sure that submission is done within the time stipulated. You are given only one attempt to submit on Caleb and once for the UNIZA. So I wouldn't want to have anyone, resubmitting it in the UNIZA email 2 or 3 times because it confuses marking later. Yeah. So you have equally a very sufficient time to write your answers. Basically, it's like what we've done. You've done summary and paraphrasing and quoting. It's nothing new. It's just about knowing. It's about getting it correct or not. Yeah. So questions have been, practices have been done. We've done 2 assessments on it. If I have to talk about your progress test, alamak, pening pala I tengok tau. You guys, basically when you do citation, whether you are doing summarizing, you're doing paraphrasing, you're doing quoting, you must always remember to cite the text. You see, it's okay. The reporter is basically reporting what Mahathir is saying, but you have to cite them, this reporter's name. This is exactly what is missing from most of your exercises. I noticed that you did not cite Chin. Christine Chin is a Malay Chinese name. So you can't say Christine because it's like calling Shakespeare William. You can't be calling Shakespeare William. So wouldn't it raised question to you before? I mean, wouldn't you, ask yourself, kenapa orang tak call Shakespeare William? No. To call someone by their first name would actually mean that you're very close to this person, which is not. Okay, you don't know William, you only know him, by reputation. So you can't refer to him by first name. That's why you can't call me Hanita, or you can't call me Han until I say, sure, call me Dr. Han or call me Han, until someone invites you. Because the thing is that when you refer to someone by their first name, it's a show of personal relationship. It's a show of intimacy, maybe. It's a show of closeness. Yeah, it's upon invitation that only you can start calling people by their nickname, by their family name, whatever, with the too personal. Yeah, until then you have to refer them by their, their general name or family name. In this case, Shakespeare, because he is of course an English. Yeah, so he's a European, so he's referred by his surname. In my case, in Malaysian case, we applied the European lah, Doctor. Let's say you're citing me in one of my papers, for one of my papers, you'll be citing me by my father's name, Ismail 2020 or Ismail 2019, but not Hanita Hanim Ismail, no. Yeah, so the practice for APA, we're using APA documentation style. We refer our citation, the person that we're citing by their surname. For example, my case, Ismail, bukannya Hanita Hanim Ismail. Yeah, so it's the same case when you refer to Dr. Mahathir. Yeah, it's Mahathir only. Mahathir spoken, because the thing is that you're applying APA style. Kalau APA style dia ada standard dia. Yeah, kalau it's the same with MLA. Now these are ways of documenting things. Yeah, so the word documentation is so important, because the thing is that bila you do it correctly, you're actually allowing knowledge to be transmitted from one generation to another generation. Tapi kalau you cite it wrongly, for example, for the text by Christine Chin, you cite her by Christine, so you're telling others that her surname is Christine, not Chin. So dah salah way of transmitting. It's just like doing hadith, what's the word dia, daripada satu muhadith ke another muhadith, you wrongly transmit hadith. So bila dah salah transmit tu, mana satu ni? Should we refer by Chin ke? Is her surname Christine? Dah salah. So bila dah salah tu, terputuslah. People cannot find the real article lagi. So that's why it's so important that you cite it correctly. For example, how do you do that? Whatever the idea that you're trying to say, for example, Mahathir explained for the reason of teaching and learning maths and English in English, maths and science in English, whatever the reason it is, and then as reported by Chin, bukan 2020, but 16 February 2020. So it's a different thing if you're citing a newspaper, right? Because the thing is that newspaper articles are published day by day, bukan by year. Yeah, if let's say that you're citing a book, so it's correct that you're writing it by, for example, Chin 2020. Itu betul lah for the book, but for a newspaper it should be Chin 16 February 2020. Baru betul. So it's also the same thing with writing the reference. Kalau you tulis 2020 dekat reference list tu, 2020 je, salah. You're saying that is a book or is an article. Tapi the thing is that is a newspaper article which is published every day. In this case, you're referring specifically to a particular newspaper article which was published on the 16th of February 2020. Yeah. So walaupun you got the idea, you might get the idea correct, but the moment you misquote or miscite, benda tu tak berguna. Yeah. So the moment you are required to cite, the moment you are required to summarize, to paraphrase, to quote, tiga benda ni, bukan is not just about the content, it's also about citing where is it coming from. For example, the content is Mahathir rationalize over the need to teach and learn maths and science in English for 3 reasons, whatever they are. Chin bracket, Chin, 16 February 2020, close bracket. You also need to know how to use brackets. Yeah? Bracket is important. Sebab it's like and note that this is the very skill that you need that differentiate you and layman out there. Yeah? Sebab layman out there, dia takkan faham kenapa people quote. The moment you know how to quote, the moment you know how to cite, the moment you know how to write your references correctly, you are actually differentiating yourself from layman out there. Ni menunjukkan you pergi universiti. Ni menunjukkan you know how to manage your knowledge. Kalau you tak tahu, macam mana you nak distinguish yourself from those out there? Because I remember myself, I put up a quote dekat Facebook. It was one of my saying lah. I was saying something. Lepas tu, I put it in a bracket, Ismail 2019. And then my friend who didn't happen to go to the university asked me, Hanita, what do you mean by in the bracket? Itulah bezanya antara kita yang dah belajar dan kita yang tak belajar lagi. So, you should actually understand why you see brackets when you read articles, bila you read books. Kenapa it is placed in brackets? There's a reason why there's names and years in bracket. So these are indicators of citation, and you need to know how to use them, because why? It's the transmission of knowledge. Bila you know how to manage knowledge, knowledge tu akan berkembang instead of just being stopped there. Yeah, someone asked me a question. Doctor, does it mean that when it is in Malay name, we need to cite name? Yes, betul, nama family. Ismail. Haris, what's your father's name? Because Haris muka Haris je dekat screen I don't know why muka orang lain tak timbul. Haris, what's your father's name by the way? I lupa. Lambat type. Azhar. So Azhar, let's say Azhar who wrote the report, the newspaper article, Azhar 16 February 2020. Okay, so is that understood, Ain? Okay, all right. Apa lagi? So that was one of the problems that I was marking lah bila I was marking your progress test. Yeah. Other than that, I peliknya, you guys buat summary, tapi panjangnya berreban-reban macam ya Allah tak reti nak summarize. I know you're trying to show off your language flag or whatsoever, tapi it's a summary. To summarize means to only capture the main ideas. To summarize is not to paraphrase. To paraphrase means to write it in a different way. To summarize, you can quote the exact ideas. Yeah. Patutnya to summarize ni is shorter, it seems to be brief. It should be brief. Jangan panjang melengket. Ni when I was looking at your progress test, ya Allah, summary panjang. Paraphrase yang patut lagi panjang daripada summary. Ni summary lagi panjang daripada paraphrase, which is questionable. Yeah. What I'm trying to say, itulah cerita PKP ni. Kalau tidak, I dah boleh return your progress test. I can share you the marks later, tapi I'm still marking a few more for the progress test. Sadly to say, just because you didn't cite Chin 16 February tu, memang tak boleh pakai. Most of you lose marks in that sense. So for the final assessment, there is a specific question on the end. Let me check. there is a specific question on paraphrasing and extracting main ideas. So if you forget to cite the name of the author of the article, it will jeopardize your marks. Yeah. So sayang 1000 kali sayang, I cannot help you. Yeah, you should learn the right way. Yeah, this is the right way. So I'm teaching you the right way. So later when you look at your progress test, some of you might just get a 0.75 out of 5 marks. So simply because you forgot to cite correctly, yeah. Remember, the moment you masuk dalam academia, masuk dalam university, you should know that the moment you are citing on someone else, yeah, citing on a particular newspaper article, for example, or a journal article, you should always cite who the person you're citing from. Forgetting to do that means you are actually committing plagiarism. Do you know that? Yeah. So let truth be known. Okay, so be careful. Apa-apa newspaper you dapat, apa-apa buku you dapat, apa-apa journal article you dapat, the moment you forgot to cite the person that you are reading, or you found this new knowledge, the moment you forget to cite, you have a potential of being labeled as a plagiarist. Do you know that? Okay, so be very careful. Okay, other than that, nanti make sure, although you are given the extra 30 minutes, I just don't want to chance it, because the thing is that you have to submit to Kelip within by 3:30, yeah. So make sure you prioritize Kelip first, yeah. So the moment you key in Kelip, you submit in Kelip, you're off the hook, yeah. And please do not submit a different version lah to the email, okay? Because satu, I know the time that you submit, there is a time indicator on the email, ya. So jangan kata, oh okay, I dah submit Kelip, okay, I boleh temper sikit, I boleh ubah sikit, and then I submit slightly later. Please don't think like that, ya. Because some of you are very funny. Even masa buat attendance for boot pun, I notice ada yang sign in malam tu ke apa, macam mana ceritanya. So I've got a range of attendance, time attendance. Don't be funny, people. So it's recorded. The thing is that kalau dia benda tu, the thing with technology, dia record everything. Kalau let's say you meet me dekat kelas, bolehlah, bolehlah might forget, because I'm a human being, so terlepas pandang. But the moment there's technology, memang susah nak lari, ya. So please clock in at
Doctor, sorry.
Yes.
I was wondering if we were still in citing, about citing. So how about the father's name is like Sheikh Muzaffar Abdullah? How about how to cite the long name?
Abdullah.
Thank you.
Abdullah je. Yeah, Abdullah je. That's the father's name. Let's say if you're citing an Italiano, for example, like Da Vinci. Yeah, so it's Da Vinci. What's Da Vinci's full name? Yeah, by the way, anyone knows?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Apa? Cara?
Leonardo da Vinci, right?
Leonardo da Vinci. So Leonardo to his name. Da Vinci is his father's name, his family's name. We call it a surname. Yeah? Is the surname to yang you cite. Da Vinci. People don't refer to Da Vinci. Da Vinci tu yang surname tu yang we refer him by, not Leonardo. Because for all that you know, there's so many Leonardos out there. Okay?
Okay, Doctor. Actually, my question is, how? Okay, let's say my name is Muhammad Naim Azizan, right? So, what if my name is Muhammad Naim bin Abdul Karim? So the Abdul Karim?
Your father's name is?
Is Azizan. But what if it's like Abdul Latif or Abdul Karim, like that?
So the father's name lah.
Also the full lah, we have to include Abdul also.
Your father's name is Abdul Karim.
Your for example.
For example, macam, okay lah, we cite on a real person like our dekan. Our dekan's full name is Muhammad Nazri bin Latif Azmi, right? You don't cite him by Muhammad Nazri. You cite him by Latif Azmi. See, Latif Azmi. So that's his father's name.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Doctor.
So madam, if my father's name is Ahmad Nasruddin, so will be Ahmad Nasruddin 2020.
Betul.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Dan macam Dr. Razwan Abdul Rashid. Hey, you Google his name, but then of course kadang-kadang ada yang tersilap lah. But you know, knowing the right way of doing it really helps knowledge to be disseminated and transmitted. Ya. Lagi, ada soalan apa-apa tak lagi? Oh yeah, someone was being funny. Bila I told progress test ni is to be written in a summary form, it shouldn't be in a point form. Ya, ada yang buat lawak antarabangsa, dia buat in point form. Summary, summarizing, paraphrasing, extracting main ideas are never written in point form. Jangan ada yang buat kelakar dengan I, tulis point form. Ya, point 1, point 2, point 3. Right?
Madam,
Yeah.
For the summary, is it compulsory for us to be written it in only one paragraph?
By right, summary kalau you belajar masa secondary dulu is one paragraph, right?
Yes. So one paragraph only.
Ada tak sesiapa nak tanya anything about about your essay writing? Anyone needs to ask anything about the essay writing?
Madam, once again, for the essay writing, it is like we have to do argumentative essay, right?
Yeah.
But then before this, we discussed about the assignment 5 to be included in the final. So how?
Figurative language tu.
Yes. The one is like in the assessment table. Where is it?
I don't understand you, Najiha.
Wait. It's like before this, before you told us that argumentative essay will be the section B. You mentioned that we have to do opinion essay. So which one is actually do?
And argumentative is an opinion essay, you know, because you know when we talk about, you know, what do you think about this? So basically, indirectly, it's people asking you, hey, what is your stand? You know, so that's why it's considered as an opinion essay. The moment you argue that pollution should be abolished, so it's your opinion, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, thank you, madam.
Anyone has a problem with the essay format? You know, anything that you like to ask? Maybe my comments were very vague. Anything that needs clarifying, maybe? Yeah, guys, you know, failing to submit the final assessment, you have to redo the exam. Okay? So you must make sure that all submission goes to 2 parts. Yeah, 2 parts, not just one. It's not a question of all, it's a question of and. So you must submit to Caleb and email me, right? So failing to do both of this, if you say tak apa, ada backup, you need email Uniza to backup. No, you kena hantar juga kat Caleb and Uniza email, okay? So why? If you fail to do this, you would have to redo the exam. Yeah, you'd have to sit for another makeup test. I don't think you would like to have that done. Yeah, I don't think I pun suka have to, you know, mark the second time. So I'm sure it's the same thing with you guys. Kalau nak buat apa-apa sekali je, kalau nak kahwin sekali, kalau nak sit for driving test pun sekali, I hate to resit for my driving test. Anyone here sat for their driving test or whatever? You'd understand what I mean. Yeah, so make sure that you submit. At least janganlah aim sampai 5 jam. Boleh rasanya you habis dalam 4 jam because it's not really that difficult. The text is very easy actually. It's the things that we've been doing for the last 3 months. We've been talking about COVID. We've been talking about learning during PKP. It's the same thing. Tak ada jauh beza. It's just handling your anxiety, handling your nervous feelings saja, yeah. So get a grip, yeah. Brace yourself. I'm sure you can do it. Because the thing is that kalau you aim for 5 hours, takut nanti you ada problem, technical problem ke, masa submitting tu kan. So I would actually suggest you, just submit before 5 hours instead of 5 on the dot, yeah. So
Doctor, may I ask a question?
huh?
May I ask a question? I want to ask about the submission for our finals. We should email you also, right? So is it a compulsory to use the UNIZA email or we can use our own email?
I don't care as long as it's to my UNIZA email.
All right.
As long as they must put that to UNIZA email, to my UNIZA email. Yeah. So you're gonna receive the email the moment you buka your Kelip. You will see 2 things. You will see the question booklet and you will see the answer booklet. So the moment you click the answer booklet and you submit, that's the indicator that you already done your part. Okay. So kalau you masuk awal, you takkan see you won't see the assignment. You won't be able to do anything pun. But the moment you're within the time frame yang I allow you to be there, it starts at 10. So so let's meet at around 9:30 lah, yeah. So when you come in at 9:30, you are going to log in at your attendance at the board, the Telegram board, and then we start at 10. Yeah. So before 10 o'clock tu, you dah boleh switch on your Kelip lah. Yeah. So before 10 tu dia takkan show anything. So immediately after 10, you have the whole privilege of reading both documents, the question booklet and the answer booklet. You can ask me in the WhatsApp. You can personally ask me. Yeah, I will be attending to you lah. No problem. I won't be answering specific answers. I won't be answering vocabulary or whatever. And I may not know if you're trying to cheat on me or whatsoever, because it's between you and God. I'm sure you understand the consequences of it, because I have to preach on this. I have to remind you again. You might feel happy over the small things that you think that you get away in this world, but the thing is that it will come back to you one way or another. For example, if let's say you cheat during your students' years, it will come back to haunt you during your working days or when you have children, maybe. Yeah. So understand that life is always like that. Yeah, it'll come back to you. Yeah, right. So like what Dr. Zana shared in her chat, it was a quote that she cited herself. Yeah, dia kata apa, kegembiraan yang you dapat hari ini adalah secebir saja. You don't have to worry about it. Kalau you dapat, alhamdulillah. Kalau you tak dapat, then it's okay. It shouldn't be affecting you, yeah. Alright, apa lagi? Nak tanya apa lagi? Anything else that you should know or ask?
Doctor,
Yes.
about the reputation, can you explain more? I think some of us have problem about that.
Okay, reputation doesn't stand on its own, yeah. It has to be initiated by a concession. What is to concede? To concede is basically to agree to a certain point. Yeah, in life we agree to people whatever that they say, but you don't agree entirely. For example, when someone say you're ugly, someone let's say tell you to your face, you're ugly, you know that. Lepas tu, how do you give a balanced argument to that? Yeah, I might be ugly to certain people, but I have gotten myself, married to a man who accepts the flaws of me. Macam tu, So you agree? Yeah, mungkin I ni tak lawa. You agree, tapi you don't agree entirely. You kata, ya aku ni tak lawa, tapi tak lawa pun ada orang kahwin I. Macam tu, something like that, So that's the comeback to that, and that's the refutation part. How are you going to refute? To refute means to pancung. To refute means to corner back, to counter back. How are you going to counter back? For example, when we talk about pollution, there's always the two parts, right? Pollution is good for you, pollution is not bad for you. So let's say you take the stand not good, pollution is not good. So obviously there will be some people who sees pollution as something that is inevitable. Maksudnya kena buat juga. For example, kalau you tak allow pollution, so pollution may come in the form of factory producing things. Excuse me. Kenapa? Nah, patutlah kejap. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I tak charge my computer, so dia nak mati battery. So, of course, manufacturers are going to say, how can we produce things if we can't omit fumes? So, for mass production, we need fumes to be released, otherwise we're going to kill ourselves with the fumes internally. So obviously asap kena keluar. So this might be an argument by the manufacturers. So that's why factories emit fumes, they keluarkan asap. So we need that simply because why? In the long run, we are actually helping we are helping generate income for the national for Malaysia. So you can't help it. So you might say, yes, factories may claim that their efforts at trying to assist national income, at generating national income as an inevitable way, benda tu tak boleh nak lari, but it can be minimized. You tak boleh nak buang semuanya, but it can be minimize it. So how do you minimize it? So that counter argument now becomes a claim of policy. So you start explaining how. So that's one way of refuting. Bila you kata, let's say another example, pets should not be allowed in residential houses, in apartments. If any one of you living in apartments, ada tak mak bapak you yang duduk kat apartment? No one? Semuanya orang landlord ni. Semuanya duduk atas tanah rumah, bungalow ke apa, semua tak ada yang kat apartment. By the way, for those who are staying in apartment, you're not allowed to have pets, you see. Why? Satu, susah nak kawal. The thing is that the moment your cats get out of the house, it starts to litter. So living in an apartment would actually cost the comfort of others. Dia akan buang apa ni, buat qada hajat dekat lift ke, dekat sepanjang koridor ke. So the thing is that while you may say that you might take that stand that cats or pets should not be allowed in apartments, there'll be others who say we can still manage keeping pets simply because keeping pets is one way of retaining mental health, is a way of keeping healthy mental wise. So how are you going to refute against that? So one way of doing it is like, for example, like this. Yeah, there's so many ways of, keeping pets is one way of keeping the mind healthy, or keeping sanity is one way of keeping sanity. There are other ways of doing so, such as mengaji, semayang, or doing exercises. Keeping pets are not the only way. So knowing that, living in the right residence, living in the knowing what suits living in a residence should take the bigger priority than thinking over one's mental health is an act of selfishness, something like that lah. So yang what we mean by refuting. To refute means to counter back, to counter argue, right? So I hope I have explained well. What do you think? Do you understand now?
Doctor? Oh my God. Doctor?
Yes. Yes,
I want to ask, just like,
yes, Nabila.
just now you're giving example about refuting, and you still macam compromise. What if I wanna completely disagree? Can I?
You can, because that would actually be biased.
Tak clear ke?
Tak boleh.
Is it clear?
Tak boleh, because not everything is entirely sound true, you see. Sebab in life, mesti ada satu benda tu ada strength. That's why when you evaluate any decision in life, there's always the pro and cons. Tak ada yang con je betul. Mesti ada kelebihan dan kekurangan. So that's very much the natural of things in life, yeah. Mesti ada kelebihan dan kekurangan. Cuma the thing is that when you're trying to take over one stand over another, the other tu might ada kelebihan dia, cuma not to a point that overweights yours. For example, macam pollution, dia bukan entirely bad. Or the same thing with nuclear. Nuclear ni sebenarnya dibuat, it was first introduced for the good, for the sake of goodness, yeah. It was done to help mankind, but it then turned into something bad. Same thing with your telephone. Mula dulu it was used for communication. These days macam-macam ada. All the mak nenek porno lah, all the mak nenek pedophilia lah timbul lah, macam-macam. Simply because mankind do not know how to differentiate between good and bad. They do things not to make them better. So see, as what I say, there's always pros and cons. So
Doctor.
Yeah.
Does refuting mean that we agree on something but we came up with another alternative that is considered better?
Macam macam cerita smoking lah. Smoking ni let's say smoking. Why do men smoke? Men smoke simply because to them they feel lepas makan smoke or rasa satisfaction kan. So it's their way of feeling satisfied. That's a good thing. Tapi the thing is that it's not the only way of feeling satisfied after eating. Ada orang lepas makan dia minum susu, like my boys. Dia lepas makan je kena minum susu. That's one way of satisfying themselves. Cukup lah, maksudnya wow, best, betul-betul rasa kenyang lah. It's the same kick that they experience when smoking. So the thing is that smoking ni, that is not the only thing that happens. It causes health problems, it issues financial problems later. The thing is that the con tu lagi banyak daripada the good thing. So let's say adalah seorang ni, ada mangkuk ni kata smoking is good because it provides satisfaction after eating meal. So how are you going to counter argue that? You kata that's not the only way to feel satisfied after eating. There are other ways of feeling satisfied. For example, eating dessert or talking with a friend over coffee pun provide a form of satisfaction, kan? Lepas makan tu tak adalah nak rush off pergi mana-mana kan? You duduk dulu, then you minum coffee. So that itself provides a form of satisfaction as well. Yeah.
Madam,
Yeah.
Ain Abdul Latif comment, she asked a question in the comment section. So
What
I'm
about
going I'm going to read it, okay. For contents in argument essay, does the evidences used need to be a fact?
macam mana? Madam, for content in an argumentative essay, does the evidence used need to be a fact? What do you mean by a fact? What do you mean by a fact, Ain? I don't understand you. I think benda tu kena masuk akal lah. Kalau you gonna create, you're going to fictionalize something that doesn't make sense. I don't think. What do I mean by supported by evidence? Evidence ni, kalau you remember, it could be statistics, it could be it could be an opinion by an expert, it could be anecdotes, experience. But in what I've commented to some who use their experience as an elaboration to their content paragraph, I said experience are weaker evidence compared to facts, like statistics or an interview by an expert, or even newspaper articles. Macam let's say you cerita pasal COVID-19. You kata COVID-19 can be further put to a stop by exercising the three S's, or the three C's. Siapa cakap ni? Kalau you cuma cakap tu je, is a hearsay. But the moment you kata this was detailed out by KKM template, bila? Give a date. Or this was elaborated, or this was informed by DSG, Dr. Hisham bin apa? So Dr. Hisham, whatever. Or this was reminded again by the Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin. Okay, benda tu becomes fact lah. Benda tu bukan you je, walaupun is known, tapi you further substantiate, you further strengthen it. The moment you cite on a newspaper article, the moment you cite on an expert, DSG Hisham tu kira expert, or because partly he's someone who's practicing medicine, he's within the industry, yeah. Lagi? Anything else to ask?
Madam, for the body paragraph, we need the main point, supporting details, and concluding sentence. Am I right? All right, thank you.
Bilanya kan, okay, kalau you nak tahulah cerita pembangunan idea, how do you develop idea within a content paragraph? Basically, you start off with general statements. So topic sentence is considered as general statement. You cerita benda yang general je. For example, we're talking about pollution lah. Again, I like to cite this. This is very general topic lah. Pollution. Let's say you take up the stand. Pollution should be stopped. Why? Okay, let's say pollution should be stopped because it harms humanity's welfare, the welfare of the welfare of mankind. So welfare of mankind is the first content idea, the first thesis idea. So bila you go to your content paragraph, you katalah, firstly, pollution brings nothing but harm to man's welfare. Yang tu general statement, very general statement. So a person who reads your sentence will say, macam mana? How do they harm? How does pollution harm our welfare? So the moment you start explaining, so how do you elaborate? How do you move from that, from general to specific? So whatever follows should aim towards being specific. How is one question, or what exactly do you mean by that? So that is what we call as elaboration, explanation. Elaboration, explanation are not evidence. They are simply your ideas trying to explain what do I mean by the first statement, right? So that's how you chambah idea. That's how you develop ideas, right? So you would start something with general, moving on to specific. Specific, supported by evidence. Then your concluding sentence. You don't start off with evidence. Sebab apa? Like for example, the moment you say men are destined to be men will be man will be assessed in the hereafter. Benda tu memang fact. Macam ni you nak kata tak ada hereafter. So macam mana for the Muslims, they cannot counter argue this, because if they understand the rukun iman, they know that there's no point of even contesting this. Salah memang ada hereafter. So you cannot start off with evidence. That's the point that I'm trying to say. So you must start with something general, moving on to specific, then evidence. Tak boleh evidence dulu. No.
Doctor, I have another question.
Yes.
You mentioned that in section B, we are supposed to create a situation that includes figurative language. Does that
No.
mean?
No, that's not what I said. It's not in section B, it's in section A. The creating of the figurative language is part of section A. It's going to be based on the reading passage that you are given. So it is from the reading passage that you have to create a figurative language. That's what I said.
I see. Sorry, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay.
Just to enforce my understanding, for section A, the figurative language, is it like this? We are given a passage and then we read and then we write what we interpret from the essay, but we make it beautifully written. Is it like that, Doctor?
You don't have to focus on the entire passage, you see, because the passage will comprise of many paragraphs. Cuma the thing is that in your effort at trying to create a figurative language, you can focus on certain paragraphs, you see, for example, or certain sentences. Let's say this sentence you kata, dia macam nak cerita pasal
Doctor?
Okay, doktor, tak dah. Gurau.
Nabila behave.
Doktor lost connection tu.
Nabila, sambung. Sambunglah Nabila.
Okay, anyone volunteer to explain?
Oh, betul nak buat apa
Message doktor lah. Kot.
Aku dah message doktor tapi one tip tu.
Alamak.
Okay.
Aduh.
Weh, aku dah nak tahu yang tu. Aduh. Sekejap korang. So yang argumentative essay ni buat argumentative essay tu biasa lah kan?
Yelah tu.
So maknanya bukannya macam kita nak kena paraphrase ke apa, maknanya kita read the article and then kita buat argumentative essay kita.
Yes.
Okay. Hi doktor.
Siapa nak jadi doktor sekarang ni?
Doctor, we can't hear you.
I hear you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, doctor.
I think the internet was playing on me.
Okay.
Okay.
Katanya.
I think doctor, you have to what's the word?
Explain.
Re-explain the figurative language part because that's when your connected got lost.
I said figurative language. In order to create a figurative language, you cannot base it on the whole passage. It must be based on one particular sentence. Yeah. So you would actually pick a particular sentence. Dia tak boleh buat the whole thing. Never would you see a figurative language basing on the whole passage. It will be on a certain sentence. Are you there? Hello? Are you
Yeah.
there?
Yes. Can you give an example, doctor?
Lah, nak bagi example ke? Alah, let's say macam, let's say the sentence kata, trying to control a group of students is very difficult. Difficult, you can basically describe difficult similar to something, like what? As difficult as, manning a group of cows or something like that, or a group of girls, for example, according to Rasulullah. So what Rasulullah is giving us is basically a simile. Itu pun boleh dah. Boleh tak? Faham tak?
Faham? I see. Thank you, doctor.
I hope so. It helps.
So does it mean that we can for example, for the simile, should it be a known simile or we can make it up or we can make up the simile ourselves?
Kan the word pun katanya create. You nak I ambil satu I ke sekarang?
Alright, doctor. Alright, thank you, doctor. I understand.
Namanya pun create. Create possible figurative language. Apa lagi nak tanya? Apa lagi? Apa lagi?
Doctor,
Yeah. Yeah.
can you ask about the thesis statement that you can you like explain further about how to make sure our thesis statement the idea is parallel?
Ya Allah, kata tak belajar linguistik lah, apalah ada saman. Apa dah? Siapa Bila I tegur pasal grammar, kononnya dia dah belajar linguistik lah kononnya. Belajar linguistik, grammar teramu macam mana ni? Parallel means to have the same structure. For example, if let's say okay, I'm sure you know compound sentences, right? You've got simple sentence, compound sentence, you've got complex sentence, right? For compound sentence, maksudnya you gabungkan two ideas and then in order to explain over the first phrase, yeah? For example, like I love going to school because I meet a lot of friends. I get to I get to, I meet. You don't say I met or I am going to meet. Padahal benda tu tak parallel. Let's say the first idea is, kenapa you suka go to school? I meet friends. Second idea is, I learn new things. So you can't say the first idea, I am meeting friends. Padahal yang second tu, I learn. Tak parallel lah. So that's what I mean by parallel structures. See, and this is very much basic, you know. Don't talk to me about linguistics when you can't deal with grammatical sentences. Hampir lah. You belajar syntax lah, you belajar phonetics lah kononnya dah, tapi benda simple macam ni pun yang tak boleh buat. Macam mana sila ketuk kepala sendiri. Faham?
Alright, thank you.
That's what I was saying. English majors should not take ease over grammar. Grammar is your vehicle. You should always be very careful about your vehicle. Kalau ada kereta, you kena make sure that your tire is you manage your tire well, you manage your engine well. You tak boleh pakai jalan aja. The same thing. You don't just simply speak only. You have to worry over how you say things. And that takes careful listening over to what are the things that you're saying. You don't simply just menceceh grammar berterabur. The same thing if you're writing, you don't simply write or type. You have to make sure, hey, am I saying it correctly? Sebab why? You're trying to deliver an idea. You tengah menyampaikan idea. So how can the idea be delivered if you don't understand what you're trying to say? So understanding is achieved when you are able to convey them in a way where they can understand you as well. So that, one way of doing that is via grammar. Okay. Tiba-tiba mati ke? What?
Okay, Doctor, okay. I mute tadi lupa.
Okay?
Alright, thank you.
Itu sebabnya it's not just about having time and reason. That's why bila if you remember when you were writing your essay level SM dulu, your teacher will write some marks for organization, some marks for content.
Madam. I think that concludes for today. Bye.
Korang, sekejap nak tanya. Wow, semua nak keluar dah ke?
Tak.
Kan?
Tanya.
Tadi kan I tanya yang main point tu kan kena ada supporting details, lepas tu kena ada concluding sentence. Doktor dah jawab yang tadi.
Dia cakap ya. Dia cakap ya.
Cakap je kan?
Ya, doktor siap bagi thumbs up lagi. Nabila, what do you want more? You want more attention?
Bukan. Sebab I takut nanti kan. Tak apalah. Okay, thank you.
Hey, cakap lah.
Takut the okay.
I think it's the wind. It's a very windy day.
Yes.
Yes. Are you in Terengganu?
No. No.
Or at your place, huh?
Cenderung is really hot right now, Doctor. No wind at all.
I think at the wind. I think that's why it's rather, the line is dropping and all. So I don't know. I'm so sorry. I can't help it. Kalau nak ikutkan hati, I must make sure that everything is under control. Tapi itulah, I cannot hear. I cannot control the internet. Kalau you know me well, you know I want to control the internet as well. But anyway, any other questions before I end this session? Ada apa-apa lagi tak nak tanya? Ke dah mati lagi? Hello? 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 Dengar tak?
Yes, we are here, Doctor.
We can hear you.
Yes. Okay, so okay lah. Good luck. So I will share you the cam as soon as possible. I'm trying to finalize marks. I'm working really hard. I'm trying. Yeah. So I'm sure there's going to be ease in the exam papers that you're going to sit on Tuesday. Yeah. So I wish everyone surrenders yet. The moment I give you your cam, understand that you have another 14 marks. So I don't think I'm going to accept those yang tak datang kelas. Tu memang kan ada problem lah. So all the best, good luck. So do hajat whatever, ask for forgiveness from your parents, of course. Yeah. So all the best. Can I end the session now? If there's anything that you like to ask me?
No, nothing to ask. No
Nothing to ask, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Doctor, for teaching
Thank
us.
you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. Please pray for us.
I wish I could have a better control over everything. I think we are destined to just surrender our faith to his destiny. Yeah. So all the best, guys.
Okay.